Good to see you.
Got it?
Get started here. What we're going to do first, go around the room, introduce yourselves, tell us your name, where you coach at, and what you coach. So let's start over here.
My name is David Scarpa, and I'm an aspiring tennis.
Greg Martin from Brave Pop Warner, head coach for Pee-wee and Patrick Belcher from ICN Lock 20 Pop Warner. Been doubling the last couple of years, now going to singling, and was also at Wilson High School last year.
Mark Williams, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Coach, actually I coach adult tackle and I coach youth little league, New Mexico Yapo Football Association. Been running the Center League for about 5 years. Just kind of want to incorporate some of Colton High School's kind of spread look into our Center League practice this year.
Hi, Josh Rawson, Maricopa High School, varsity.
Maricopa High School.
Roger Williams, Savannah High School.
Fort Army Navy Academy.
Tom Davis, San Marcos, Pop Warner.
Rob Mansfield, St. Marcos, Pop Warner.
Rick Bray, Colton High School, offensive lineman. Gerald Strauss, Colton High School, head coach.
Jody Hagens, Faith Christian School in Somerville, South Carolina.
Rand Scott, Mission Viejo, female American.
John Behrens, Rancho Santa Margarita, Pop Warner.
Darren Somo, Santa Margarita, Pop Warner.
Blake Irving, Santa Margarita, Pop Warner. Jim Chambers from Homo High School.
Coach Picata, Babakiwi High School in Arizona.
And I'm
Hey,
Bruce
Coach.
Ein. Oops,
No, that's okay.
That's all right. I'm Bruce Ein, Bradley Christian High School. John Torres was going to talk first. I don't know if you know John, he's in the ATF, and he got called down to Mexico. They had some big drug war, so he's down there having gunfights. So he's, I don't know, he doesn't know when he's coming back either. So that was his job. So he apologizes for not being here. So I'm going to take his spot, and hopefully we can make this work. Some technical difficulties. Basically, any questions you have, just ask. I'm going to be behind the screen because I make too big of a window. I've got a door instead of a window, and I don't know, I get in the way. So something that we did last year was we did the what everybody's kind of going to a lot about the shotgun jet sweep, and technically we are normally a 4-wide passing team, and we use the single wing, which we call fat formation as pretty much our run game. And we came into this next season, and I had 2 real good receivers, and one of them's actually being recruited pretty heavily, and they transferred on me. And one went to play basketball at Villa Park, the other went to play football at Lakewood. And so we go into the season expecting to throw the ball, and all of a sudden we couldn't throw it. We had other kids, and we had some decent kids, but they weren't ready to take on the receiver responsibility. I had a real nice big fullback with great speed, and so we started to try just to run with him a lot and do the fat and pass. And by game 3, whereas out of the shotgun, now he's 4 to 5 yards deep, so he can still belly back and get around if something does happen. It helps the pass pro because you're in a shotgun. So basically now the quarterback's deeper and has more time to throw. You have play action passes. Sorry you can't see the diagram here. But basically these guys have to commit to the run and cover the pass. So it kind of puts them in a bind of what they're going to do. Misdirection. They get used to flying this way. You come back this way. Makes the defense play responsibility option type defense. They basically have to give certain spots on the field. They have to cover both sides of the field, the middle of the field, off tackle. Slows down the pursuit, puts the defenders in binds. We don't block any defensive linemen from the front side guard back. Allows the offensive line to get to secondary defenders. You'll see later on, but basically anybody head up on the guard back on the defensive line, we don't touch. We let them go. The flex tight end in the wing overload allows to block any edge contained players. So any type of contained system they do, we have 2 guys here to block. These are basics of the offense. This is our numbering system. Centers 1 and 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 5, 7. Those are the holes. When we say the holes, we want to right through the lineman. No gaps, right through where the lineman is. The backs numbers, the quarterback's 1. The H-back is 2, the fullback is 3, and the Z-back is 4. If we want to go jet, that means the wide receiver motion from the H. If we call fly, that's the wing motion from the Z. If we call speed, that's the X, Y, or F motion, meaning X speed, Y speed, they don't have really a number. These are the formations we run. We run wing right as our first one, which basically full of double tight, double wing. The next one we run is double, which you can't see here, but basically the H-back is back here with the fullback and the quarterback, so we have 2 backs. So it gives you a little bit more of a crossing action, or a little bit more power action. Tray right is a trips formation. We still have our tight end wing. We bring H over here to give us a trips. Trips is opposite the Y. The Y is here, then they do the trips. Also, on all our calls, it isn't to the Y, which most of them are. It's to what the formation is. So like this is trips left, and so this is pretty much one of the ones the Y has to go, oh, I'm not part of trips, I'm opposite. Empty right, the F comes up here to a bunch set. F right, he comes out here to a tray set, so this is giving us basically tray and our tight end wing on this side. 0 left gives us a bunch to the left side. Box, this gives us tray to that side. By moving the fullback, you pretty much can get 4 different empty sets out of that. Here are the plays we run. plays we run jet sweep, buck sweep, and reverse. I'll go with this. X runs speed sweep, buck sweep in the reverse. Z runs fly sweep, buck sweep, reverse. It would be great if we could do both, but like last year, this guy could trap a whole lot better than this guy, so we end up running this most of the time. The thing is with the fly motions, these guys all pretty much are out of the way, and we only have to block those 4. Or if they run a 5-3, those 3 in there, or 3-3, or whatever they're running. We'll run buck trap, where we'll fake the sweep and then give the trap right below it, and then run the quarterback. Gap, this is probably our best play. We're faking the jet sweep, coming back with the counter gap this way. Same way on this one. A lot of times, these guys are all cheating, trying to do this inside gap. When we run gap, then basically they're all taking themselves out of play, and we're going to the races here. So even though the defense does some things to try to cheat, it also helps us that we're running plays off of that. We run the gap to the same side as the jet sweep. We try to get these guys here jumping out on the sweeps, and then we're going to hit them off tackle. QB dart. Fake the gap play, and then the QB basically runs gap this way. One of the things we do different is, I hate to make this play work, and a lot of teams run it. They always try to find the 1 and 3 technique, and if this guy's in a 3 and you're running at him, it's a real tough one. So what we've done to fix that is we always block down. So if he is in the 3, we can still run the play, and we pull the guard and basically kick out the end. So what this guy here, they think it's either buck or jet. So when the minute this fullback goes, sometimes he just follows it, and then we pull the tackle around. So that's just one of our little different blocking schemes on dart, and then from most normal dart type plays. We'll come back and run the fly, run it to the fly sweep, and run it away from the fly sweep. And then same thing with dart. Power. This is more for the quarterback. We'll run the power away. We'll motion this way and fake the jet sweep, and then run power off the weak side from that play. We'll come back and run it strong side, try to get them all moving out here, and then hit that gap right there. We'll run blast. This is depending on the defense. And then run. It's essentially the same power play, but this end has got wider, so instead of kicking them out now, we're going to kick them out the tackle instead of blocking down here and just basically kick out that guy. And then we'll power off the fly, both ways, and then the blast. And then the last one we have is just a speed option. We've also can run it here, so it looks like we're doing split plays, but I like it over here because everybody over here thinks it's basically the jet sweep, and then he can come back behind and then run the speed option on that. A lot of times you'll see in our film, all these guys basically take off here. We didn't run this play enough because I didn't trust the quarterback to run it. But yeah, they gave us this play huge. We didn't take advantage of it. And then we have the shovel play, which is basically the speed option, and then we bring this guy underneath, and now we have a pass just kind of like Utah runs. Reverse is a big one. What we run is we give everything jet sweep this way, and then the quarterback he fakes and then turns around like the buck sweep and the wing tee, and then the Z comes back around. We block here like it's sweep this way, and we pull the weak side guard for the reverse. We tried to do the one where we hand off. And you guys know me, you've got to be able to pass. Pass pro, we do 2 different pass pros in our play action on this. We go straight out, fake the jet sweep, and do a backside pass pro. And it's basically a one-man route. And so we'll do that. We'll do a lot of weak side stuff to this receiver. Or we'll do the buck action, same way. And then we'll just go straight out pass, where we're faking the jet sweep, but basically it's our pass game. And that's all receivers are out, and the 5 linemen and the fullback are basically part of the pass pro. And this is the one we use the most. Single receiver concept. If you've got a very good guy and you can get him out there by himself one-on-one, then that's the best position you can get a passer in. And so we'll run the quick screen to him, quick stop, a slant, and a fade, and basically just, get up there and call jet stop. And then it's just, he fakes the jet sweep, 1, 2, 3, and throws. Nothing, no difference between anything over here pass-wise on that play, except for this guy's now motioning over. Puts different people in. These guys are all in different binds, and this guy's one-on-one a lot of times because they'll follow him over. We can go unbalanced with it, go over and run the same thing. Now this guy's really in a bind. Is he trying to come up and stop the jet sweep, or is he going to cover the pass? Real big one, that was in a hard corner. If he's up here and we go over, and we run the fade, and he's got to jump up and contain the jet sweep. He's in a definite bind there of what he's got to do. And then if he does drop, then he can run the ball all day. Run stuff inside, got bench and flag. Run the same thing on the strong side. If you got a corner here, got to cover it, and then you can run the flag from the inside. All receivers. All right. Basically, our first concept we go over is our fade and streak. When we talk fade is an outside play, so it goes to X. Basically, the quarterback's going to drop. He's going to look at these two fading, trying to keep this free safety over here, and then we're going to throw the fade backside. 1, 2, 3. Throw to a spot 35 yards downfield that the receiver needs to get to. Worst case scenario is that these safeties are over here and they can get there. So what we're trying to do with our eyes is get the safety to go to right here, or at least freeze him in the middle of the field, so that this guy's one-on-one. We'll run this fade same way on the to the outside. We'll go Z. We'll move him out, so now we have a double fade. Same deal. We're trying to freeze that free safety by looking at that tight end right there, and then we can either go here or here, depending on the quarterback getting a better read of, one, who's the best receiver, two, what's the easiest route by the depth of the quarterback, the cornerback, and then three, who's got the better matchup. A lot of times this guy will get the better cornerback, and this guy won't get as good a cornerback, and I feel we got a better chance to hit this guy against that matchup. Then we can go over and bring the X right over and still run the fade on that side that we talked about earlier on that hard corner situation. We can go fly, get width here, and then get a nice horizontal stretch on this sandbacker right here. Same thing with flood. Flood's the same thing. It's just a deeper play. He's got what we call a sail route. He's got the option of just getting open. He can corner, he can out, he can sit. Basically, he's got this whole area to work on, whoever's covering him, to get open. This is a weak side flood. Got a corner route one-on-one, and then we're bringing people across. He's across at 2 to 3, and he's across at 12. A lot of times we tell him to run to where the sandbacker is, try to get behind him. To get across to 12, make the safety think you're going to keep going up the field and then break it across. A lot of the air raid people call this white cross. We run corner swing. Now what we've done, we've just taken this guy out of the situation that was dragged, put him basically ended up at the same spot when he went across and dragged here. What we're going to do is bring him out here on the swing, fake it to him, and then we'll still have our flood. Actually, this is more of a triangle read than a flood read. Floods basically levels 1, 2, and 3, where a triangle you have one up top and two beneath. Then we can do it to the tight end side, motion away from him, and he's down the single receiver, and then go across and get our flood read. This one we don't use as much. It takes a lot of time to teach, but if we have somebody that's a good curl runner, or if we play a lot of teams that are going to give us a good cover 3 and give us those curl areas open, we'll run curl, fake the motion. Basically on curl, he's going to go 12 back to 10. He's got this whole area to slide. He wants to get basically in an area between him and the quarterback where there's a nice line, so he can sit here, he can slide and go here. He's basically reading off him, and the quarterback's looking for him also. The corner's going deep with the H, so basically what he's doing, he's just going to peek at him and see if this corner's jumping the curl route, and then hit him deep. If this H starts to run his wheel, and this corner just flies deep, he has the option to just hang on the left to give us some type of why he's trying to do is we call it a middle read. If there's two safeties, he keeps running. If there's one safety, he curls right in front of him. Post is pretty much the same thing. Instead of now curling, now we're posting. We have a post corner. Basically, what we're trying to do is find a corner that's going to follow the post, and then we're going to corner underneath him. Like I'm saying, these are just rare plays. We'll bring out once in a while. Double slant. If we got some guys here that love to come up and take for the jet sweep, we'll hit some slants right behind them. If this guy loves to follow the slant, we'll run the swing right outside of him, and basically, nobody will be covering him, and these guys can basically pick these guys if they're trying to go out here like a linebacker. Crossing concepts. We call it Kentucky. This is basically the mesh play. These X and Z are going to mesh. I actually drew it wrong. They shouldn't be meshing there. They should be meshing right here over the center. They're going to, Z is in charge of the depth of the play, and he wants to get it at lineman involved on that. A lot of times that we're on the left hash, we ran jet sweep to the wide side a bunch, trying to give us some room. And so a lot of times either one, they'll have somebody over here to shift for the size of the field, or he'll run with that motion, and we'll get a nice one-on-one here, and maybe this guy hasn't beat him one-on-one without a blocker, and so we'll bring these two guys up for a blocker and go up the hash. Rocket, just the jailbreak screen. Fake the motion, and then hit the jailbreak right underneath. We'll fake the rocket and hit the swing. A lot of times we'll have all these guys running out here trying to follow the jet sweep. Sometimes they'll come up with a man and they'll actually chase him. Or we'll have defensive end who will run and then stop and look for the play. And then we'll try and hit the swing out here. These guys are running at him, but they're going to miss him and get upfield. This is wrong. But basically on the bomb is we're faking the rocket, and then H is going to go up the sideline there. Actually, should be fake H rocket. Oh, there it is. Same deal. Corners following. Get upfield, throw. And this is wrong. The lineman can't go downfield on this play because it is a pass play. So they know on fake that they just pass play. F middle is middle screen. Basically, the block and go. Fullback goes to blocking in and then turns around. Screen right. He runs like a flat route, but from the shotgun, it really works out because he's now a yard behind the line of scrimmage. And then we do a screen that way. Jet screen is basically fake the jet sweep and then throw the screen to him. That is it. Now we're going to watch some film. Alright, this is the jet sweep. The great thing about the jet sweep is this kid here, this kid's scared. You watch when he gets tackled. He's running away from people. He's about 5'10", 135 pounds, average speed. step out, and then back, follow the tackle. Guard, everybody gaps to the right, guard kicks out, tackle pulls through.
This is counter?
Counter gap, yeah.
Oh,
We call it gap because we have a counter play, which is the lineman don't pull on. Gap, the lineman pull, counter, the backs pull.
so where's his aim going? More like
It's an off tackle play.
Oh.
But he's actually, he's aiming at the off tackle, but his job is to follow the tackle through. Almost exactly like a double wing guy. He basically gets on he's supposed to get on his back and go.
Is this more effective than the trap?
Yeah, actually it is. You get more blockers to the point. The trap the trap either goes or it doesn't go. This one, always something can happen, big and little on this play. They were pretty equal, calling wise. But this one probably had more of the bigger plays on it. Then we run not yet. Then we're going to run the gap to the same side as the motion.
Just flip flop backs.
Yeah, that one we just ran tray left and then brought the motion guy back across. We were just messing around some formation wise. There's QB plays. I had one kid that could run decent, so we gave him some plays, and then also that fullback we gave him some plays. So empty and then run the gap to the quarterback. If you got a running quarterback, you really can add a lot to this. It just adds another runner in the game. The power plays I really love off of this.
Gap play work better to the motion side or away?
Actually, most of our big plays happen to the motion side. But I normally wouldn't run gap if I had a quarterback to run. I'd run power to it. And I knew that hole was open. But I didn't have the quarterback that can run this time. Yeah, you're getting all the good and bad in this one.
Is this any power or you guys just inside zone?
Everybody blocks down, kick out. This is why we don't throw either. This is Tom Davis from San Marcos Walk Warner. This is his fourth year here. Second time presenting. Just got off the Mega Clinic tour. And let's hear from Tom Davis.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank Bruce for asking me to come out here and speak. And I really want to congratulate you youth coaches. The reason I say that is because I know where you're at. I'm a youth coach also, and you're a volunteer, and you're out here under your own motivation to be here to be a better coach. And unfortunately, you're type of guys I really don't want to coach against because you guys prepare. I like the guys that don't prepare. And I look at your teams, but you guys here, you guys make it work. And what we're going to talk about today, this is a great offense. I ran it for 3 years. And we're going to talk about installing the single wing, and this is basically geared towards first-year coaches that are considering going to this and the good things and some of the pitfalls that I've made when I was running this. So, going to go ahead first slide. First assumption, go ahead, is you are a youth coach. I know I have high school coaches here. However, this is geared more towards the youth coach. Like I said, the first-year coach is going to install this. Some of the things, don't make the same mistakes I made, and that's really willing to go over it, and just the basics that you can put in to get this to work. Next slide. You're willing to put in the effort to install this offense. A lot of guys say, oh yeah, go to the single wing, it's a great offense. It is a great offense. However, it's not a magic pill. It's not a quick bullet. It actually takes work. If you're going to be the guy that's going to install this, you're probably going to be the line coach. It takes a lot of work to work with the line because it isn't one of these offenses, just block the man in front of you. This actually, you're going to teach your kids how to play line play and how to do it correctly, and you'll be successful. Next. And you have to have a tough skin. When parents first see this, they go, what is this? They're going to ask you about it. And then one of your first plays you're going to put in is a wedge play. You're going to say, there is no hole. And they're going to really say, what are you trying to do here? You have to ward off the criticism when you first see it. But once they start seeing you run this, and you're fooling people, and you're putting 20 points a game up, you won't have any more questions. Go ahead, next slide. Okay, next slide. What is a single wing? I can tell you this. Go ahead. It isn't this. This is our turkey dinner here. This is our wing, so it isn't this here. Go ahead. Single wing, it's about power. The base play in this offense, I honestly believe, is the power play, and that's what everything's based off. It's a power offense. Next slide. It's about deception. As you can look at this picture here, who's got the ball? Can you? Some guys who run this know, but new guys, they'd be like, okay, who has the ball? Because it could be one of 4 players. Next guy. And it's about fun. As you can see by the square, I don't care what they say, kids having fun. When kids are winning, they're having fun. And, this offense is a fun offense, and when they're doing things that other teams aren't doing, and they're being successful, they're having fun. And you see over here, this was our team banquet. We had about 33 kids by the end of the year on the team. As you can see up there, I probably had about 30 kids at the banquet. It was on a Sunday evening, so, the kids were there, they're participating, they're having fun. Next slide. What are the characteristics of the single wing? The first one is it always involves a direct snap. What I mean by a direct snap is you're going to be snapping, looking between your legs, a shotgun type snap. And that's one of the big things about it. Next slide. There's going to be a wing. Minor play changes. Any player that can carry the ball. I'm going to show you a formation at the end of Beast, and when we look on the film, you'll see I have defensive linemen, offensive linemen, running the football. And you couldn't teach that out of another offense. And basically, when we ran it in a particular film, you're going to look, I drew it up on a whiteboard at halftime. And we ran it the entire second half. Some teams never adjusted the unbalanced line, because some teams never know, because especially with tight splits. And teams that do overshift or start playing to the unbalanced side or running that unbalanced side thinking you're going to run there, they're set up for the wing-back counter. And when you run wing-back counter, it's an easy 6 if they start doing those things. Different series can be run the same play, run the same with the same blocking. And what I'm saying there is, if you're going to put a spin series, you're going to put in a half spin series, my motto is 4-hole blocking is always 4-hole blocking. So when I teach our line, okay, this is how we block our 4-hole. And if we're running 14 power, we block it this way. If I run spin 24 power, the line does exactly the same thing. So you don't have to teach the line a whole new way to block a different play. And it really makes the kids learn. They become more confident in what they're doing because they always know, okay, I'm blocking 4-hole. This is how we block the 4-hole all the time. Next slide. Rough areas, these are things that you have to focus on that are a little bit different. The center snap, excuse me here, I forgot to bring my training aid up here.
Still doesn't cook.
No, you can't steal. Here's my training aid over here. This is how we teach our centers how to snap. It's weighted down. You snap it right in there. Once you get your centers trained, one of the things that, and I even did it last year, I ran double wing, and I did the same thing with my centers last year. My centers took snaps before practice. Youth football, I don't let the kids run around like wild banshees. If you would, one team I seen a kid who was rolling down a 20-yard hill with green chemicals on him wearing his full equipment. Things like that. Our kids, when they come out, the way we work center snaps is as soon as our centers get there and tailbacks get there, center snaps to a tailback, tailback's taking the ball and everyone else is in the line and you're throwing a pass to them. And once I get 2 centers, 2 tailbacks, I have a tailback down there. He throws the pass here, he runs it down, gives it to center there. That line starts coming this way. That way they're doing something before the practice, and it's a good way for your centers to get their snaps in. As John Reed says in his book, your centers should have at least 1,000 snaps before the beginning of the first game. And if you're doing 50 snaps, 60 snaps a game, plus your regular snaps, you're going to have more time to be successful.
Coach,
Yes.
can you show us how you teach your snap to the youth?
Okay, the way I taught it both ways, but probably the easiest way is the way I learned from John Ward, Dr. Ward. It's basically taking here and flipping it, and just flip it in, and you're about 3 yards away, and you just flip it and put it in. It's playing sideways basketball.
Is
Just
he
flip it.
looking between his legs, Coach?
Look him between his legs, yes. I always have him look between his legs. Some coaches can teach it that way. I honestly feel that if he has his head up, that ball's going to go anywhere. I have him look between his legs all the time.
Do you get an equivalent number of snaps for each series? For instance, if you're going to run power, you want them to snap.
To me, I think any offense is like a car. The line's the engine, and everything else is the paint job. The backs and the ends and all that, that's the paint job. The engine's what runs the car. And if you're not coaching the line, you know the offense, it's going to be a long day unless you really trust the guy. Not pulling linemen, a lot of times in youth football they say, oh, you can't pull the lineman. I'll tell you right now, if you're installing this offense and you have a coach that's telling you you can't pull linemen, look out, you already got dissension on your staff. You can pull linemen. I ran double wing last year with 9, 10, 11-year-olds. We pulled backside guard, backside tackle. We trapped and we ran kick-out plays. We play side guard. You can pull linemen at that age. So you can pull the linemen, and coaches that tell you they can't pull linemen, they're already not on board with what you're doing. So you need to really, get them on board. Installing the spin series first. I made that mistake. I seen the spin series, and I love the spin series. I'm like, that's how a lot of guys get in this offense. They see the spin series and they say, I got to run that play. And I installed spin series first. The first year I ran this, and Air Flores unfortunately isn't here. I went to scrimmage him, and he had a killer team. They went to West Comp Finals, and we scrimmaged him, and he ran about 3 touchdowns in the first 10 plays, and I get the ball, and I'm running spin plays, and I'm getting 4 or 6 yards, and it's looking good. And Aaron, being a single wing guy, adjust to it real quick. I had nothing else in there. I had no powers, I had nothing else, and it was just a long day after that. I installed the spin series first. The power series, what they call the straight series, is the series that needs to go first. Next slide. Installing pass plays too late. With this particular team, you'll see on film, I had like 1 pass play really installed, and we were at the 3rd game, and the thing was we didn't need it because we'd done real well in scrimmages, we'd done real well in our first game, and we start down the field, and we break one, and we're inside the 5, first to 5, and we don't score, and the other team gets momentum, and they get back in the game, and all of a sudden, they're shutting us down, and we have our 1 pass play, and it's not working, and we had another one, but we didn't really work on it, and it really caught us. So what I've learned from them since then is you need to have, the way I work it now is I need to have 1 good pass play installed by the first game, along with the base offense. By the 2nd game, you should have your 2nd pass play installed, ready to go. By the 3rd game, you should have 3. And really, in youth football, 3 pass plays is all you're going to need. And go to the next one. The reason I say that is when you go with this, it's too many plays. Coach Reed, I believe this in his book, he says the number of plays you should have in your offense should correspond to the oldest players on your team. So if you're coaching, say, 12-year-olds, your oldest players, 12 plays is probably about the most you should have on your offense. So if I have 3 pass plays, that gives me 9 left to play with. I'm going to have 6 in my straight series, so that gives me 3 to play with, and that basically gives me an all-speed series, a spin or a half-spin series. So that's what I would say, is 12. Go ahead. Too much scrimmaging. The first year I ran this, we were scrimmaging 35 minutes a night, and we looked real good in scrimmages, and on Saturday we looked terrible. And I'd be like, what I found out was, I wasn't working on the problems. So you can do too much scrimmaging in it. Put your wedge right there. Your 4, which is basically your off tackle power to the power side. That's from your inside foot of your outside guard to the outside foot of your power end. You're running that area there. And then, of course, 5, your sweep is outside your power end wingback area there. It makes it real easy for the kids. I know I've taught it both ways. I've taught it where you number all the players, like Bruce has showed. But I really like teaching this with younger kids. And we taught it that way, and it really worked well for us. Go ahead, next. The formation, the way we had set it up, line split 0 to 3 inches. Sometimes you can split your power end out about a yard. What you want to do is use that to form your tunnel. The wingback's normally 1 by 1. However, you can adjust it. And when you see when we run the counter power, you'll see he'll line up right behind here. Your blocking back, he's as close as possible. Now, right here he's behind a strong tackle, but you're going to adjust him. I have a play called a seam buck or a buck seam, and he's actually between the inside guard and strong tackle. And then when he's getting the ball, he's actually behind the inside guard. He'll adjust on plays, and teams don't pick it up. They really don't pick it up when you see it. The quarterback, the way I learned this and the way I installed it was basically the tailback's right foot was parallel to the center's left foot, and he was about 3 to 3.5 yards. And then the quarterback, his left foot was parallel to the center's right foot, and you have him toe his toes to the tailback's heels. And what that does is if you're going to put spin play in, it helps with the mesh of the spin play. You already have the formation set up. And also, he can adjust when you're running him on wedges. He can be up closer. Great, next slide. Assignment of personnel. This is the way. It doesn't mean how you're going to do it. These are the plays. The first 3 are really where I look for first is the center. You got to find centers first. We put that net out first night. Everyone gets to try out for centers. And then we try to pick 2 or 3, and we get them narrowed down pretty quick so they can start getting their snaps. Because that's what you need. Without a good center, this offense doesn't work. You can have the best tailbacks and everything else. Next one. Blocking back. A lot of guys say, I honestly believe that blocking back's the next guy you need to look for. You got to find that nasty kid, the kid who likes to hit people, have snot bubbles and things like that coming out of his nose. Just mean and nasty. And he's really a guard who's athletic. Next. Is your inside guard. Your lineman, I believe the inside guard in this particular formation, he's your most important lineman because you're going to pull him every play, and he's your point man on your wedge. So he's got to be your best lineman, and he'd be theoretically your next blocking back if your blocking back was to go down. Outside guard, the reason I say him, I like him as the next lineman I would try to pick is because you are going to run off his putt here because that's where the power off tackle area starts. And if on the quick side plays, you can pull him. So you want someone that's athletic enough to pull going to the quick side of the ball. Strong tackle. The big thing on the strong tackle when you pick this kid is you got to have someone that's got quick enough feet. One good thing is if you're in a minimum play league like I am and you're deep in your own territory, you got to get out minimum plays. Say, your minimum plays haven't been done, you're deep in your own territory. You run this 3 downs, knock out 3 plays. You may not get a first down, but guys who play minimum play rules know sometimes getting 3 minimum plays down is more important than getting the first down. So it is good play, and it's a breakaway play. Basically, this would be called Ghost 14 wedge, and the players knew once they heard Ghost, it tells the backs it's okay, or excuse me, Ghost 14 power. The backs know, okay, I'm doing the 14 power look, and the blocking back knows, okay, Ghost means I'm carrying the ball on the wedge, so I'm going to shift over. Line play knows, okay, we're wedge blocking, and that's basically how it's running. They're running wedge blocking, and this would be blocking back wedge, would be called Ghost 14 power. Next play. This is quarterback wedge. If you notice now, the quarterback's a little bit in front of the tailback, because what I've come to find out, if you have him back here, teams see him getting the ball where if he's in front, he's a little bit more deceptive. He gets in there faster, and blocking back has that gap between the center and the inside guard because there is sort of a hesitation there because the center's got his head between his legs when he's snapping the ball. So this helps him with that particular block there.
You heard the snap there? You saw me snap it?
No, it's a nice, easy snap. They're always nice. Yeah, it's the same snap. But one of the blocking back is a real easy snap. So he's here, he can either get in the wedge, or if you have this guy that you know he's sneaking around, you can get him block that in right there. Next slide. Sweep. Go ahead. And basically, as you see, it's very similar to the power off tackle. The only difference is here, the wingback has the end instead of getting the linebacker, and we're pulling blocking back through the hole, and we're pulling inside guard again. And these guys are doing the same thing. They're slide blocking. These guys are closing the gap. That's why I said it's very similar, and that's why I teach wedge before I teach this, because they really, for the line, they pretty well know this blocking scheme. And we're just trying to get to the edge. Yes, Dave.
Coach, when the end starts playing games and moving out, and say he's out on the outside shoulder of the wingback, do you ask him to reach block him?
If they were going to do that, I'd say, hey, just kick him out. Tell him kick him out and go inside.
Kick him out, okay.
Yeah. If you really, we should be running power off tackle if they were doing games like that. Go ahead, next. Sweep pass. They can't pass out of this offense. I had two coaches that come up to me and see films and scout and said, we didn't think you could pass. This play here, the big coaching point on this play, and it took me a few years to figure this out. When your tailback's running like this all the time, you really have to teach him on the sweep pass. He's got to get a little bit of depth, because if he starts running in here and they're crashing real hard, he's going to be rushing the ball, where if he gets a little bit of depth, a yard or two depth, he'll be able to throw this pass. What you're doing here is sort of looking like 14 power blocking backs coming on the same kick-out route, where he's continuing out in the flat. And then your wingback start originally down like he's going to block the linebacker and then do a flag route. And really, he's your primary here, and this is your secondary. Next play. Wingback counter, I say this is the beginning of deception, because after this you start running your deception plays. When teams start seeing you running to the right, running to the right, running to the right, when you see this happen is you see teams just flying. They start flying over because they see the tailback getting the ball. And you run this play here. You snap to the tail. Buck lateral, like I mentioned earlier, this is more for junior midgets and midgets. I think younger levels, it's really hard to run. We ran this at junior midget level because we weren't fast enough to get outside. We had a hard time all year getting outside. We put this in towards the end of the year, and it immediately gave us an outside get to the edge. What happens is you're snapping to the quarterback right here, and he's diving, and as the ball snapped, your blocking back literally takes a crossover step and turns around. He gets the quarterback comes, hands in the ball. Now, the old guys teach it this way. I happened to be at the coach's house a couple of years ago with Travis Connor, and Travis Connor from North Carolina says, no, here's the new way of doing it. You literally take the ball and basketball pass it, rather than do it this way, because when you basketball pass it, you can really get that tailback out on the edge, and you can get him further out there. And it goes a lot quicker. And that's how we taught it here. We ran it there, and we were very successful. And then this play here, the buck trap, Giles High School lives off this. They run it, and when you see it, and when I've seen it, and guys see it, they say, there's no way this play is going to work. Because literally, the quarterback's running towards the line of scrimmage and sticking the ball out. And you're thinking, there is no way in God's name this play is going to work. And I thought the same thing, and after we ran this, I told my coach, okay, there's a thing called the buck trap. We'll try to run this play. And when we taught the players how to run this, we literally just taught the backs. I was with the backs when they were doing this. And I'm standing about right here. And we have no offensive lineman except for the center. And I'm saying, okay, run the buck trap. And I'm losing the football. The kid's putting the football out and pulling it back. And there's nobody there, and I'm losing the football. And I know what the play is because I'm calling it. And I'm like, oh, this is... And the coaches are going, there's no way we can see the ball. And we put it in first game. We ran it like one time, and we got like 3 yards. And then we put it in. And my good ball-handling quarterback, he got hurt in that game. So I have my blocking quarterback in there he wasn't as good a ball handler as the other guy. He runs it 3 times for 49 yards and a touchdown, back to back to back. First 2 times he gained like 11 yards, and the next time he gained like 28 yards. Scores a touchdown. The big thing about it was when we taught it, because like I said, it was our second year with this particular team running it, you have to teach assignment blocking. You can't. And the way we taught it was basically this guy here, the strong tackle, if he had a man on him, it was even. If he didn't have a man on him, it was odd. We would block it with an odd even call. That's how we taught it there. Go ahead, next. Half spin T-series. The only difference, this is actually the T-series here because you got the quarterback stepping back. What you can do with the half spin series is where you have the wingback coming in, you keep him home, you mesh with the quarterback. But in this particular play here, you're to the tailback, he's doing a 180. Wingback's going in pre-snap motion. Tailback can either hand it to the wingback, or that quarterback on the snap ball is stopping, is taking a step back and giving a gap area where the wingback cross underneath. Then the quarterback comes through, he can hand it to him, or both of them can fake it, and he can run it off the 4-hole. And like I said earlier, if we're running off the 4-hole, say we're running half 14 power, we're running the half spin action. He runs here, it's 4-hole blocking. The only difference, again, is the wingback, since he's going in motion, would be able to play. The lineman would do exactly 4-hole blocking again. Or you could call ghost half spin. That was a half spin, yes. He'll be a sophomore if Mission knows this. This kid here running the ball will be a freshman if Mission knows this. That's one thing I didn't say. When you're running your sweep and you want to sweep pass, bring that ball up and they start fading back. No. That kid will be a freshman at San Marcos. Reason being is when we're trying to pass, they just were automatically falling there and said, okay, just put the ball up and then we'll.
Did you ever get the problem with you want to pass and you just want to throw it?
Josh would run the ball.
Yeah. Coach, they dropped back.
Josh was number 3. He would have run the ball a lot for you. You'll see on film. Okay, you see this fight. See, I taught Josh to run like this. Just like Coach Strauss taught Alan Brown to run like this.
And Alan was nothing.
This was peak.
He was 135 pounds. Put him on the peanut butter diet.
He was that when he was 2 years old.
The first game to us, he's nothing. I'm sure you see the one.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the counter power right there.
Still never looking around.
Yeah, he broke it out to the right. There's a spin, and you see, no one's going to. No, you'll see some wing left in this. We did go both ways. There's another wedge. Here's some buck seam. I think there's a buck seam play right there. There's another counter power. Sonny 15, he wouldn't keep it inside. He wouldn't bounce at all. He'll spin pass. He'll be a sophomore at Mission. He was 24 this year. Counter power again. Like that, Bruce. That was a pass and got home run. There'll be another one you'll see a run for a touchdown. It's actually a pass. That was the buck seam again. This is actually, we went unbalanced left and sweep